Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Mike Zakarian.
GM, good morning. What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. It's a dreary one here in New York. We're a little under the weather, too, so we're fighting the elements, if you will, both climate and brain climate. Who do we got here this morning? Sneeps is up here. We the people. Big weekend. There we go. Boston Base trying to make jokes in the morning, but a huge swing and a miss. We got, some Dallas Cowboys love. Sure. Jump shoots up in here, Matic. We got Hugo. Let's go. Snoopaloop National Cheeseburger Day. All right. I can vibe with that a little bit better than Boston Base's bullshit. Badavine's here. We got Gurja, Veronica. Good morning. Stubbs. Easterman's here. We got Manny up in the house. Let's go. Everybody's here. We're vibing this morning. Wait, hold on. Did I just we got a new member, Gurja. Welcome back. We got Drunkle up in here too. What you dad? Let's go. Everybody's here. We're all having a really nice time. Like the stream, subscribe. No giveaway. I was going to say, I was just going to make like a hashtag thing. And I was like, I don't have a hashtag because we're not doing a giveaway this morning. All right, let's, oh, there we go. Jump shoot. I like my cheese, like my road maps. Lots of holes. All right. Wow. We got some stuff today. We have some fun stuff this morning. I don't know. How was everybody's weekend? I had a nice time. It was actually pretty, member for 12 months. There we go. Mine was pretty uneventful. Played a little softball on Saturday. That was about it. Just laid low most of the day yesterday, trying to mentally prepare myself for international travel. Starting to get I gotta go get my suit dry cleaned today. That's the type of stuff that's going on with me. We gotta get ready for Ireland. And for those that are tuning in for the first time in a long time, just a reminder: normal slot of shows this week. The NBA bit Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. We'll have Shot Tank Wednesday night. A lot of fun stuff. But next week we'll be in Ireland. So no shows next week. I will be off all of next week. I think our first show back will be Tuesday. All right. So what's the date of that? That's going to be a week from tomorrow. So the 26th. No, that's dumb. October 3rd, we'll be back. October 3rd. We'll be back on air with the NBA bit, which is good timing because then we'll have media days. We'll be back, right? Teams are reporting to camp. We'll be 3 weeks away from the start of the season. We'll have some more announcements about our live show happening at So Rare Studios. It's going to be good. Mike deciding to pass up amazing Ireland content. Yeah, we're not going to do anything out there. I mean, I don't know. I might have some pre-recorded stuff that I'll throw up, like I'll vomit up. But that's it. Maybe we'll mess around with some shorts. I don't know. Who knows what the Wi-Fi situation is going to be like? We don't know. But excited to get out there. I'm going to see if I can catch a football match while I'm out there. But yeah, I'm excited. We're doing a couple of days in Dublin, a couple of days in Galway, and then heading out to Dingle for our friend's wedding, which we're very excited about. It's going to be a lot of fun. 36 days to So Rare NBA start. There we go. Let's go, Drunkle. And yeah, for those that missed we dropped our fall schedule. But I got a little alpha for you. So, and some of you are going to love the alpha. Some of you are going to hate the alpha. So we're still doing Live Before Lock Mondays and Fridays at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. We still got great guests coming on, like our friend Ghost, our friend TST. We'll have some Gnome sightings, some George sightings. However, Monday will be open to everybody. Mondays will just be a public show. The Friday show is going to be it's going to be just for VIPs. So I actually think all of our content on Fridays are going to be for VIPs only. So there's still plenty of time to sign up for a VIP. It's not like a huge commitment, but I wanted to have some shows that are just for VIPs to give you a little utility, right? So our happy hour show on Friday and our So Rare Live Before Lock will be for YouTube VIPs only. So there you go. That's good. I got crops, long ass crops. All right, what's going on? Yeah, some Gaelic football. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what I'm gonna try to find a couple of shows a week to have behind the paywall just for our VIPs. Just for our VIPs. All right, let's get into it. Dude, so I don't know if you guys saw this last night. Winning Time got canceled, right? So Winning Time ended, and I'm comfortable spoiling this because this is like historical stuff. Like you already know this. But it was kind of wild for a show called Winning Time about the rise of the Lakers dynasty with Magic Johnson and Kareem, Jerry Buss to end on a Celtics win. So it ended with the 1984 finals, and then it was announced soon after it was canceled. If you've been paying attention or reading the tea leaves at all, Jeff Pearlman, who wrote the book that the show is based on, he's been on Twitter like banging the drum for the last like couple of month, really being like, we need people to watch this. And I think sometimes when you're watching, when you're watching, or like in NBA Twitter or like Web3 Twitter or whatever, it feels like your entire algorithm your entire feed is talking about the same thing. And so then it becomes like very surprising when something like this happens, because you're like, well, dude, all my basketball friends are talking about it. But it seems pretty clear that not a lot of people were watching this. Will paywall shows include oversubscribe? Yeah, paywall shows will include oversubscribe. But yeah, it was kind of a bummer because it was a fun story that they were telling. I thought like the performances, like Adrian Brody playing Pat Riley was awesome. Quincy Isaiah playing Magic Johnson was awesome. The dude, I'm blanking on the dude's name who played Kareem. But I think like I mean, I don't know if people were watching the second season. I mean, I really liked like the first episode of the second season and the second episode of the second season. I was like, okay, yeah, let's go. I'm excited for this. And then it really, I don't know. They just were kind of all over the place. They like fast forwarded a full season and a half, I think, in like one episode. It was just kind of bizarre the way they decided to tell the story. And I can't really figure out what the game plan was there. Maybe they had like this 5-year plan where we're going to tell like the 9-year story in 5 seasons. I don't know what they were going to do, but it was, I don't know. I always feel bad when stuff gets canceled. It's also weird timing too, right? Because they're in the midst of the strike. So nobody like Quincy Isaiah, the dude who plays Jerry West, Adrian Brody, none of those people can go on late night shows because they don't exist. They can't go on podcasts because they're not part of the strike, because you're not allowed to publicize anything that you're doing. So the only sort of marketing, and we can relate to this, shout out NBA Top Shot, is if you open up the app and it's there, or if you're looking at a billboard and it's there, or Jeff Pearlman doing his stuff on Twitter. So it's like really hard to gauge like how successful or unsuccessful something was, but clearly nobody was watching it. I saw a lot of people like taking to Twitter too, being like, dude, I can't wait to unsubscribe from HBO Max. It's like, sure. I mean, I know the app itself is kind of all over the place. It's weird to turn into premiere television, right? Like it's supposed to be the best of the best, and then it's like throwing reality shows at you of like how to build something. I don't know. I don't know. The industry is not to continue to go down that rabbit hole, but I don't know if people saw. So Drew Barrymore came out. And so this was all over my feed, so I'm going to talk about it. Drew Barrymore came out and was like, we're bringing the show back. We did this show during the pandemic, and like no one thought we could do it then. So now we're going to do it during the writer's strike, and we're not going to use any of our writers. And everybody's like, what are you doing? Like everybody that used to write for her, everybody that like, or was currently writing for, all of that stuff. And so it lasted like 4 days of saying that it was going to be coming back. And then it was like, nope, we're just kidding. JK, LOL. And then Bill Maher came out and said he's coming back too. And he was like, oh, but I'm just doing the panel. It's fucking just like the only people making those decisions. The only people making those decisions are so far removed from like day-to-day reality, right? So like Roham, that they're not actually in touch with what's going on. And that's clearly like Bill Maher thought he was like doing, oh, it's not a big deal. And it's like, no, dude, you're undermining everybody else who aren't already billionaires or multimillionaires, right? You're undermining everybody else that like worked for you too, like your own employees, or former employees who are striking right now because of unfair working conditions. You're now boning over. So what are you doing? So anyways, I'm not a huge Bill Maher fan anyways, but I honestly, if it was Seth Meyers coming back, I'd say the same thing. So it's pretty dumb. Yeah, I can't believe writer's strike is still going. I know it, and it's honestly, it doesn't sound like they're even close. It doesn't sound like they are even close to coming out of it. There was a really good podcast episode with Ethan Strauss from the House of Strauss. Had Matt Klinsman, something, who is a writer and did a good job breaking down of like what they're actually striking about, because I don't think a lot of people know what it is. But it's not even about like money. I mean, it's definitely about money a little bit, but it's about like how they've just like screwed the industry over with how they've approached streaming and everything like that. Yeah, Boston based. This is funny too. So many people discovering that Drew Barrymore had a talk show this week is pretty funny. Did Winning Time need writers? So it was impacted by. Yeah, I mean, every show that's on television has a writing staff, right? So like even like talk shows, right? It's not just jokes, but like somebody has to write all the stuff that goes on the teleprompter. All that stuff counts. So in Winning Time, it's not like word for word what happened. People are writing dialogue of like what was said. They've also taken incredible liberties in some of the stuff. Like I don't know if people were watching season 2 of Winning Time, but there was this storyline about Jerry Buss getting married a second time, and then his wife finding out that he never actually got divorced the first time, and that was just made up. Like that didn't happen. And so stuff like that, which was a crazy ass thing to write anyways. But also, God, I always hate this take too. Comedy isn't comedy anymore. The world is too soft. Tell me where this is like, I don't even know. I like so disagree with this just because like even people I don't like are still doing comedy, right? Remember, like, here's an example. Shane Gillis, who I like Shane, whatever. If you love him, you hate him, I don't care. But Shane gets to SNL, and then because he said some fucked up stuff in his past, he gets removed from SNL. Everybody's like, oh my God, comedy's so soft, comedy's dead, cancel culture, woke culture. Shane Gillis has a Netflix stand-up special right now, which is arguably the only way comedians get tons of money these days is by doing Netflix specials. So anybody talking about how soft it is anymore, that's not even true. Andrew Schultz is another one who always gets like tagged for being someone who's problematic and edgy. That dude is very successful. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think comedy. I just like disagree with that whole thing. I think people who do, and this isn't even at you either. People, this is like a common thing people say all the time. I just we watch we the people watch Kill Tony. Yeah, Kill Tony is insane. Kill Tony is an insane YouTube show. Definitely check that out. That's down in Austin, I believe, right? That's how I discovered Will Montgomery, who is a crazy person. He is a crazy person, but it's very funny. So I disagree. I think like what I would say is that the norm. Look at us. We haven't even talked about basketball yet, but like the normal vehicles for how like comedy was made has changed. But that has less to do with, I think, people being too soft to take in comedy. I think it actually has a lot to do with like what the writers are striking about. Like the entire industry has been flipped onto its head, and shut up Peter Overzet, but the entire industry has been flipped on its head. So like the normal ways of like, oh yeah, you do stand up and then maybe you get a pilot, or you do stand up and then maybe you get a movie, but like those movies don't get made. We the People says, Mike, that's your opinion. I respect it, but comedy was way better when people knew it was just jokes and not take offense to stuff. So tell me, when's the last time you've gone to a comedy show or watched a comedy show, right? So say you watched a comedy show. Did you get when was the last time you saw people get offended from something that you were watching? I do agree that people do get offended by stuff all the time. But again, I think it's the same thing. Like, and I respect your opinion, We the People. I know this isn't at you. This is at like the general discourse. I think it's the same thing about like the Winning Time Twitter discourse, where it's like, how did this get canceled? Everybody's watching. I'm like, nah, dude, it's just like 10 loud people. It's just 10 loud people. Like the comedians that are getting canceled are people who are raping people. Like Russell Brand. You know, those are the people that get canceled. Or like Louis C.K. jerking off in front of people when they didn't want to. Those are the people that get canceled. And even he's back. So I don't know. I don't think people are getting canceled for telling shitty jokes most of the time. Andrew Dice. Was that Andrew Dice Clay reference, dude? Who knew we were going to get an Andrew Dice Clay reference this morning? Also, allegedly with Russell Brand, allegedly, even though there's like 8 years of documentation on that reporting that was done. Comedy has to offend from time to time. Yeah, I think so. I just think there's more avenues for people to yell stuff out. Like I think the same type of offense was happening in the 80s, but people just didn't have Twitter to go out there and be like, oh my God, this is fucked. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But again, that is just my opinion. Anyways, that was a fun conversation. I enjoyed that. Thank you, We the People, for We the People, and who else? Somebody else stemmed this conversation. That was good. I like it. All right, let's take a break, dude. Let's take a break. 16 minutes in. Let's talk about our partners over at Underdog. Today's NBA bit is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy Sports. Whether you're drafting Luka first overall in best ball or fading Wemby blocks in the pick'ems, Underdog is where you'll find Team Hold. Sign up today at underdogfantasy.com or just click the link in the description to get started. And by signing up using promo code HOLD, HOLD, you will get a 100% deposit bonus match up to $100. That's a free honey. So sign up today using promo code HOLD, HOLD, and get started at underdogfantasy.com. Hell yeah, we're back, baby. We're back. So before, I don't know, you guys want to talk about football here for a second before we get into some of that stuff? I was seeing people talk about, I think it was We the People in Top Shot Man before the show started about Micah Parsons. And I was kind of laughing a little bit. No, Micah Parsons is insane. Before I say that, he is like the best defensive player in the game right now, I think. But it is kind of funny watching Cowboys, or not even Cowboys fans, people talking about Dallas right now, that they are like the best of all time. And so they beat the shit out of the Giants, right? And then we saw who the Giants were this week when they played the Cardinals, right? And I know they got a win, but I mean, that is against an Arizona Cardinals team starting Josh Dobbs, okay? Who? Josh Dobbs. And then they beat Zach Wilson. So like before we crown their ass, you could crown, like before we do that, like, let's relax for a second. But man, Micah Parsons is incredible. I saw a lot of Patriots fans losing their mind last night. As a Patriots fan, I got to tell you, I'm very happy with how things are going. I am. I thought that was fun, right? They've lost to the Philadelphia Eagles, who went to the Super Bowl, and then they lost to the Miami Dolphins, who are now like Super Bowl favorites in the East. I love it. I love it. That was fun. I mean, sure, I'd rather win, but those are great, fun games. Those are fun games, and I enjoyed them. I had a tough day on Underdog with a lot of like the battle royale stuff, but then made up for it on FanDuel. I had a solid lineup with FanDuel. We stacked Jared Goff. We did double stack with Goff, and then brought back Kenneth Walker, and then had like Devontae, and we had a little Puka action. Dude, that dude's incredible. Puka Nuko. I don't know. For the Rams has been like just catching everything. But I don't know. It was a fun day of football yesterday with a lot of close games. It felt like everything was coming down to the wire. And then we have 2 games tonight. Cleveland and Pittsburgh, and Carolina and New Orleans. So there you go. Welcome back, Monday Night Football. Here's Carolina and New Orleans. Manic Auto said the Colorado game was insane. Can I just tell you something real quick? I stayed up Saturday night. I was like, you know what? I'm not a big college fan. I'm buying into the Deion Sanders hype. I'm going to watch the Colorado game. And I bet on the first quarter to score more than 14 points. That happened. So we like won a little money too while we were watching it. Game continues. I'm locked in. 4 minutes left. It's 1:12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I passed out. I stayed up for the entire game until it got fun. I woke up at like 6 in the morning because I just wake up at 6, and I looked at my phone, and I just assumed Colorado lost because there was like 3 or 4 minutes left when I fell asleep, and like Colorado State just got a first down, felt like they were going to run the clock out. And then somehow I see it went to double overtime and Colorado won. Really piss poor coaching performance from Colorado State there. But yeah, I have bought in the hype. I wouldn't say I'm a Colorado fan, but there's just so much hoopla around all of it, right? There's so much happening with those games. Like Mark Jones had a great call where it was like, what did he call it? Like a mix between the BET Awards and something else. And it was great. Blender shades or no? Same, Mike. I watched it next morning with blender shade. Yeah, I'm fine with the shades. Everybody should rock the shades. But anyways, that was my weekend. That was some football talk. We talked some pop culture. Look at us. We're doing a little bit of everything today. So there was a report that came out, I think it was Friday night or maybe it was Saturday, that Damian Lillard may be on the move sooner than later. It said trade talks, he'd back up a little bit. And we said heat up because it's only the Miami Heat that are talking to him right now. It seems like this might actually happen. Now, media day's right around the corner. It seems like, training camp has to be in the next week or so, 2 weeks or so, I would think. And I'm sure Dame will still report to camp, obviously, if he's not traded, because he just seems to be that kind of guy. But I do wonder if Portland's like, all right, we waited around as long as we could. We were hoping another team was going to get involved. Now, with one thing that I think really messes up some of these potential trades is you look at teams like, I don't know, say the New York Knicks wanted to get involved, or any team really. And I think something that screwed up these potential like third teams to come in is what's happening right now with Giannis and Joel Embiid, right? So Giannis coming out, and there was a great podcast there was a great podcast with Zach Lowe and Ramona Shelburne. And they, man, I got so distracted now because I saw the guy that Stan said the guy who reported that is a clown who has made fake reports before. Hell yeah, awesome. But a great, anyways, I'm sorry, but with Zach Lowe and Ramona Shelburne, that we're talking about how this seems to be like a canned response that Giannis is having regarding his potential extension and his future with the Milwaukee Bucks. And that one, they were basically commending him, basically like they're letting the organization know where they're at right now. So it's not like a will he, won't he, and then all of a sudden he bounces, right? So it does give the Milwaukee front office an opportunity to be like, hey, listen, we know you're not coming back. Let's try to get something back from him in like a trade, right? But that like this wasn't a one-off thing where Giannis was like, yeah, maybe I won't be here. It's like he's saying the same thing on podcasts and a New York Times reports, all that stuff. Yeah. And then regulators said it all depends on Drew. Bobby Marks, I think yesterday came out and said something that was like, if Giannis is waiting to see if Drew Holiday gets extended by the Bucks, and if he does, then maybe Giannis stays. I'm actually pretty surprised that that would be the linchpin of it all, only because like Drew is getting a little bit older, right? I forget how Drew. Let's see. How old is Drew Holiday? 33. So most of their team is actually a little bit over. Like, right, you got Brooke Lopez, Chris Middleton. All of them are in their 30s now. But I do wonder if all of that information, right, the chaos that's happening in Philadelphia with James Harden, Joel Embiid's comments, if Philly kind of flames out a little bit at the beginning of the season, does Joel Embiid make some noise about being like, hey, get me out of here? So I do wonder. I don't know if a third team was going to get involved with Damian Lillard anyways, but I do wonder if all of this noise with Giannis and Joel Embiid is kind of slowing down, or actually the opposite, is speeding up Portland's thought of like, let's move this on. What your dad saying, I hope he gets traded before the season starts so we get some drafts knowing full well situation. Yeah, that's fair. But you know what? I actually, to go back to your point and talk about best ball for a second, I think one of the like real advantages or ways to get a leg up is by making a stance now before we have all that information. So I don't know, like plant your flag now, like Dame's going to go to Miami or Dame's not going to go to Miami, and then draft accordingly. Yeah, let's go back to the Colorado game. Kyle Lowry was hanging out with Chauncey Billups. Billups, the Portland coach, who was Colorado Buff alum. Kyle Lowry was out there. So who knows? Maybe is Lowry a part of the deal? Does Lowry go? Who knows? Who knows? But either way, it does feel like we're going to get a little movement on Dame this week, which would be fun. Also, Mike Bass in the house. Let's go, Mike. Which I'm ready. I'm just ready for more, so we can move on, so we can talk about some other stuff. So anyways, that is the Dame update. If it's really even an update, who knows? And then I thought another fun thing that we could do with NBA Media Day coming around the corner here, just make a couple of predictions, right? So NBA Media Day right around the corner, and I thought what we could come up with some fun stuff, right? So the first take is that Kyrie probably does something that forces Tim McMahon to do a podcast round explaining what happened, right? Now, it might be something basketball related, it might be something not basketball related, but I know that in my heart, that we can at least walk away from Media Day knowing Kyrie's going to do something that everybody's going to talk about. And maybe it's just him talking about his new shoes, right? Maybe it's just that. He's got his new shoe line out. I think he's out promoting them right now. Maybe that's what it is. But either way, we'll have some sort of dialogue, some sort of conversation around Kyrie. Maybe he even just like, yeah, dude, can't wait to get the season started in LA. Oh, I mean, Dallas, right? Something like that. I feel like we're going to get something like that. Another thing, I think Dylan Brooks is going to give himself a nickname because there's a specific type of person that gives themselves their own nicknames. I think one of the core values of good people is that you don't give yourself a nickname. I worked with somebody when I was fresh out of grad school. I worked with somebody who told me their nickname was Vice because they got tight under pressure. And then I was like, okay, that actually feels like it's not good to get tight under pressure, but okay. And then I was like, oh, how long, who gave you that nickname? And he was like, oh, I gave myself that nickname. And that told me everything I needed to know. I stopped talking to that person, right? That's insane. You can't come up with your own nickname. Anyways, Dillon Brooks is going to show up to media day with a cape, and he's going to start saying, call me Captain Canada. Right? There was a lot of Captain America stuff with LeBron coming out. These are the Avengers for the Olympics, right? No. It is now going to be Dillon Brooks, Captain Canada. Maybe he gets like a bronze medal, like a blown up bronze medal in I'm blanking. Who was the guy that wore the big clock? I'm blanking on it. I can't remember the big clock. Anyways, he's gonna have a big blown up bronze medal. And that's going to be him. So that's my prediction for Dillon Brooks. I think my third prediction is that Austin Reaves is going to revive Winning Time. I think he's going to be like one of the chief fundraisers for it. Oh, Flava Flav. There we go. Thank you. I was blanking on Flava Flav. Yeah, I think he's going to bring it back. I think he's going to bring back Winning Time. I'm looking forward to that. Everybody typing in Flava Flav at the same time. I like it. Giddey and fodder plus picks for Dame. No, I don't think it's going to happen, because you want to know why? Because same thing. This is what I was saying before. I think OKC say like, you know what if we take a shot at Giannis instead? That's what I think. I think they would just like try to save those assets for somebody like Giannis or Embiid. All right, I think I had one more prediction. Oh yeah, somebody's going to ask something that is going to piss Chris Paul off, and I don't know if it's going to be about starting. I don't know if it's going to be about Draymond's comments saying that you need to win a championship. That's what's going to happen. Someone is going to ask something that is going to piss Chris Paul off. And then maybe Chris Paul then goes on Draymond's podcast, #NewMedia. I think we're going to see a lot of that. I don't know. Do you guys have any spicy media day predictions? Anything that you think we're going to get anything weird? OKC is such a glamour market. One other thing about Oklahoma City, I don't know if you guys saw this. They announced that they are I think they're voting on getting a new stadium, right? It got approved. Now the city just needs to vote on it, or the state needs to vote on it. I don't know who votes on it, because in true typical bullshit fashion, the taxpayers will pay for the stadium. And the announcement came, right? It's going to be a $900 million stadium. And the announcement was like, and the owners have decided to pay $50 million of that. So that means the taxpayers will pay $850 million. Now, I saw a lot of discourse around this on Twitter because I said something, because I was like, this is bullshit. I think billionaires should be able to fund their own stuff. Why do I need to pay for the new stadium that you profit off of? And I saw a lot of pushback. Actually, a similar thing just happened with Jacksonville. Jacksonville just for the Jaguars, right? Just announced a similar thing. And the responses I got back, they're like, you know what? Taxpayers are saying, I'm willing to pay this money so that Oklahoma City doesn't go back to Seattle. And isn't that horseshit? That's extortion. That's like blackmail. It's like, hey, if you don't give me this money, we're going to go. Hey, rich people, why don't you just fund the stadium? You're the one that's going to profit off of this. You're the one that's going to, and they're going to be like, well, actually, the community profits on the team. Think about how much traction there is in the downtown Oklahoma City area. Oh, whatever, dude. Yeah, I understand what capitalism is, Jump Shoot. I'm just saying, why do I have to pay for the stadium? You pay for it. You're the one that's going to profit off it. You do it. That's why San Diego said no to the Chargers. Yeah. It's garbage. It's garbage. And for the comment of like, oh yeah, well this is a mid-market team. This is a small market team. It's not Boston, right? There's always going to be a team in Boston. That's even worse then. That's even worse. You're just like screwing over more people. I wonder if the city will make profits from the arena. Maybe they'll make. How many of the people are making the profit? I guarantee you the owners of the team are going to be making most of those profits. Anyways, I hate it. Maddie says, "Do you think billionaires became billionaires without soaking taxpayers?" I don't know if you meant it this way, but I was thinking of the sexual term soaking, and now I'm thinking of billionaires putting their wiener in taxpayers, and then somebody jumping on the bed, another billionaire jumping on the bed. Miami has a deal with the city. The city of Miami profits from the arena because they own it. So the taxpayers are getting some of that money back. Wasn't that happen? Yeah, that's happened with them. Wait, but hold on. So do the taxpayers of Miami get that money back? Because it almost feels like they're like investors in it. I don't know. I'm out on it. Does rinsing taxpayers sound better? Maybe. I don't know. I'm angry this morning. I think it's because I'm not feeling that well. I think that's what it is. We get some back problems. We got a little bit of a head cold. I think I'm anxious about traveling. So I've yelled about the writer's strike. We've yelled about taxpayers. Did I yell about anything else? Did we have any good vibes? Yeah, we'll see, Veronica. Veronica, you're probably right, but you know what? I don't want to hear it. Yeah. Matthew says just Google District Detroit if you want to see how great stadiums are for the city. It just reminds me of when the World Cup comes to a country or city. You know what I mean? Like when they build up all this stuff around the arena, and then they just, I don't know. I know it's not the same thing. Yeah, it's a strong. Well, listen, guys, you know why you tune in. You know why you tune. Why is everybody? We'll do a mental health check. Let's get one of these in here. Let's do the longest one. But I'm just not going to do it, guys. And it feels good to not cave to the chat because I am the boss. Like I said earlier, I'm in charge today. I am in charge. You can't tell me what to do. Here we go. All right, we're back. I think I might jump in a couple of underdog drafts for football, not for basketball, because basketball is going to take too long. And they have 2 games tonight. So we're doing a couple of 2-game slate things. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we pivot to that? I know we just there's not a ton of basketball news here on this Monday. But I think post Ireland, we're going to start having a lot more excitement. Oh, I also just want to say, what do we have for subs right now? 10,157 subscribers. We're just cooking, baby. We just continue to cook over here. No, I don't want to talk about the MLB playoffs. I don't really care. Brogdon news. Yeah, it sounds like Malcolm Brogdon is pretty upset with the Boston Celtics after being put in trade rumors. If I was the Boston Celtics, I would be like, well, Malcolm, we're upset that we couldn't trade you because your body broke down again. But somewhere John W. in the chat is being like, see, I told you. I do wonder how long that's it. Malcolm has a little bit more leverage in the sense that for guards right now, they have Derek White and Peyton Pritchard, and that's about it. So I do think they need Malcolm Brogdon to be out there. Unless he continues to be trade bait, but of course he's tanked his value by one being hurt and now saying he's unhappy. So yeah, that is going to be something that will be, I don't know. That's going to be something we'll have to monitor. I kind of think it will blow over and it'll be fine. I think it's just I think if we were in the normal churn of NBA media and NBA news, that Brogdon story wouldn't have popped up as much, but there is nothing going on right now. And I think that's kind of why it made a little bit more noise. The MLB playoffs, I don't really have anything. About that. The only thing I thought the Ohtani stuff was weird, where they were cleared out his locker room and no one knew what was going on. And the next day they were like, "Oh yeah, it's an oblique injury. He's done for the season." But that was kind of weird to clear out your locker room in advance. But maybe he's just going to go home and spend some time with his wife. But other than that, I don't really care about the MLB playoffs because the Red Sox suck. There was something else I was going to. Oh, can I ask you a question? Who owns college football facilities such as their huge football stadiums? So that depends, Mike, right? I think when teams that have their own stadium on campus, the schools own and operate those. But then, like when I was at the University of South Florida, and I think they still play at Raymond James Stadium. Raymond James Stadium is where the Tampa Bay Bucks play, and so basically they're almost like renting the space to do the show, to have the game. So I think that's pretty dependent on the university. That's it. 2K. You guys are talking 2K in the chat. A lot of people in the 2K world here. All right, let's. I'm gonna jump in here. We're gonna jump in a couple of these Monday Night Melees, these $5 bad boys. What is the? Oh no, Rams field goal with 4 seconds left. Screwed. That was insane, right? That was really weird to watch happen. And for those that don't know or don't care, the Rams are down 10. The Rams are down 10, and like they get it like a $15 pass. I'm $15, a 15-yard catch. And time's running out. They have no timeouts left. They were like run up, they spike it, and then they lined up and kick a field goal as time expired. So they lost by 7 instead of 10. It was very bizarre. And yeah, it was a 7.5 line. It was very bizarre. It was very bizarre. Do RAs get special seats at sports games? As Boston based? No, they do not. All right, let's jump in. We're gonna jump in this $5 Monday Night Melee. It's only so they're only 4-person drafts, right? Oh, I will say I had yesterday for the Battle Royale, I had this lineup that had Devontae Adams, right, who had a pretty solid game, even though he got dinged up at the end. Keenan Allen, who spiked a couple of times. Kenneth Walker, who got 2 touchdowns. My tight end ended up being pretty bad. It was Luke Musgrave, but he still was fine, 4 or 5 points. But then I had Anthony Richardson as my quarterback, who scored 18 fantasy points in like the first 7 minutes of the game. He had 2 rushing touchdowns and then got concussed on that second one. And it really looked like I was going to win all of the money. And then that happened, and it was pretty disappointing. But I was excited about it for a second. But anyways, it's 2 games, right? So these are just like 4-person drafts. This guy's name is Absolute Pickens, so it makes me wonder if he's going to take George Pickens here. But one of the things that I think is interesting about these, if you guys are messing with the battle royales, especially on the 2-game slates, like the primetime slates that they do. So right, all the quarterbacks project the best, right? But everybody can only get one quarterback, right? So if you don't get Deshaun Watson, just don't pick a quarterback till the very end, unless you think there's a big gap between Derek Carr and Bryce Young, which there probably is. But right, you're going to see Deshaun Watson go first. And since I'm picking 4th, I'm just not going to take a quarterback until the very end. That's just strategery, baby. But I've been watching a lot because I was doing a bunch of these this morning, and I was seeing people were taking quarterbacks like super early. So like if I don't get Deshaun Watson, and I also don't think the Deshaun, like he's got a projection of like 3 points higher than Derek Carr and only 4. So he's got a 4-point difference between himself and the worst quarterback that you can get in Bryce Young. And of course, Deshaun Watson has more upside, but like in what world is, I don't know. In what world is like Deshaun Watson going to give us a ceiling? So I'm going to take Jamal Williams here because I like the Jamal Williams matchup, and then Elijah Moore next because there's no Amari Cooper for Deshaun. So, wow, out on the most important position, smart move. No, I just think like there's just not that much of a difference in projection. You know, like Derek Carr just went now, and there was a 1-point difference between Derek Carr and Kenny Pickett. So I'm not worried about it. We're just gonna pick the best plays right now. We're gonna get a quarterback with our last pick is what we're gonna end up doing here this morning. Oh man, I don't know if you can hear the congestion, but it is like, oh, I got like a brick right in my forehead right now. Not great, Bob. Not great, Bob. And then just a reminder too, Shot Tank will be back this week at 9 p.m. Eastern on the Team Hold channel with all the boys. We'll have a boots on the ground report from John Jackson. Was in Dallas this weekend. He went to the Cowboys Jets game. So John will be back. Jeb will be back. TST. That'll be fun. That'll be fun. Also, oh my God, I did a big boy three-way pick'em parlay last night. And I took the over on Hunter Henry yards, which that smashed. The over on Jalen Waddle yards, and that smashed. And then I took the under on Juju. It was like 27.5, I think. And he barely played the second half because they were no huddle for most of it. Hold on, all right. So now see exactly. So we're not going to take Kenny Pickett or Bryce Young here. We're just gonna we're gonna take. Actually, we're going to take Allen Robinson here. And then we'll take Pat Freiermuth. Then we hope that Kenny Pickett's still there. But anyways, Juju caught a pass. Juju caught a pass with like, I think it was their last drive, second to last drive. And then like Mac was scrambling. And so he crossed the over by like 1.5 yards. It was so tilting. It was so tilting. That's why you just shouldn't bet when your teams are playing, Anyway, so right now we have Allen Robinson, Pat Freiermuth, Elijah Moore, Jamal Williams. I think we're just going to hope. It'd be pretty sick if Kenny Pickett makes it all the way back here. He probably won't. I imagine Pickens is going to take him and within one of his next 2 picks. But if he doesn't take him right here, then we'll get Kenny Pickett. So let's hope he doesn't take him. Although let's see what his roster looks like. No, he's definitely taking him. Oh, he did take George Pickens, by the way. He's definitely taking him right there. So then we're going to have to take Bryce Young. And then we'll probably get somebody to pair Bryce Young up with. You're seeing the Rockets versus the Suns in February in Houston. That's fun. That'll be a fun one. You get to see Dylan Brooks, Captain Canada. Captain Canada. All right, let's see. Maybe he won't take him. Maybe he won't take him. Look at it. And then you're getting suggestions. You got to go to the turkey leg. I went to the Turkey's Nest this weekend in Brooklyn after the softball game that we lost. All right, he took Kenny Pickett. So we're going to have to take Bryce Young. And then I don't know. Do you think we pair him with DJ Chark? I'll let the chat decide. DJ Chark, Adam Thielen, or Jonathan Mango? Who are you pairing Bryce Young with here? I feel like we the people will know. DJ Chark probably has the most upside because he might only catch 3 balls, but one might be for like 65 yards and a score. Adam Thielen feels washed, but I don't know. Maybe he still catches a touchdown. And then Jonathan Mingo's the rookie, but I wonder if his excitement is done because DJ Chark's going to be back. Garen saying Adam Thielen, the White Knight, Adam Thielen. All right, I'm going to plug in Bryce Young first. Let's see. Do we do Adam Thielen? No one else has any takes on that on the Panthers wide receiver, huh? All right, Adam Thielen it is. Garen wins out. Baby. All right, we're going to call it there. A small show, abbreviated show today, 44 minutes long, okay? But again, we're back tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, the NBA bit. Hopefully we get some more NBA news. Stay tuned. We might have like a So Rare thing this week, although I don't know. Anything that I might do recorded, I'm going to save for next week, I think. We the people, you missed it. Yeah, this is for tonight. I was doing a 2-game. I was saying, who's your favorite Carolina pass catcher between Thielen, Mingo, and DJ Chark? And I was saying that Chark might only catch 3 balls, but usually he gets like a 65-yard bomb or something. But I was kind of excited about Mingo. Paul said I thought about jumping in one of these for some action, but then I heard your name, all the players being drafted. Yeah, I know. This is pretty gross. It is a pretty gross Monday night. It feels like Tuesday Night Football, honestly. That's how bad it is. That is how bad it is. All right. We're going to call it there. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Hopefully feeling a little bit smoother. You know what I'm saying? See you guys all tomorrow. Have a great Monday.